Hi, welcome back to the channel if you're a regular viewer, especially if you're on my Patreon. Links in the box below for that. Yeah, chatty one again this time. I've been having a rough time since the last video with my ME, so it slowed me down a lot. You can probably see it a bit in my face. We're going to persist anyway, and I'm going to show you what is happening and what's being made at the moment. I've also got a little bit of an unboxing to do. Got my coffee. That's about the only thing keeping me going at the minute. Yeah, you've seen the tops that I've done if you watched the previous craft video. If you haven't, go back and have a look at that. What I've been working on now is the next bit of product that I need to do for the stall, and we're calling these gonks. Now, you've already seen the bones that I've made. I did a squeaky bones video Christmas time-ish. They've gone down really well, so I need to make some more of those. And yeah, I've got quite a few pieces cut out here ready to go. These ones probably won't be using fur, but these are great for using up the fabric I've got left over from other projects, so I'm not wasting this last little bit of fabric. So I'll run these together. Shan't bother going into that in any more detail here, we've done a video on that. The next thing is I have another stack of fabric, and again this is the leftovers from doing other projects like those hoodies that I showed you. We're calling these gonks. Pat and I had a bit of a sit down trying to figure out what to call them, and it's the one name that stuck and kind of explains what they are. They're sort of a fidget toy kind of a thing, a bit of a novelty, textured, squeaky, noise-making thing. It's a gonk, and I think these will sell fairly well with the same people who buy the bones. You know who you are. Some of these will have faces on, and some of these will have other designs on. They're going to have different things inside them. So I've got these sort of round, kind of like hand-shaped ones. You know, they're about the same size as the palm of your hand, especially when you take into account the seam allowance when that's gone from them being sewn up. And they'll just be like, I don't know, a thing that you can fiddle with. I'm also going to be doing some hexagons. I picked up some hexagon templates, which I've been after for a while, and they were cheap enough in a sale that I could justify the cost. So these are either going to be other gonks, they're just a different shape, or this is going to be something I turn into a big sheet of fabric to make something out of, like the bags that I'm going to be doing. I've been working through the fabric that I've got, so the hoodies are the main thing, and then whatever's left over of that fabric goes into gonks, or goes into my stash for making the bags, which I need bigger pieces than this for. So I'm trying to get the most I possibly can out of all of my fabric, partly because I don't like the waste, and partly because I'm quite skint, so anywhere I can save money is a good idea. Also invested in another 100 of these things, because you get through the squeakers surprisingly quickly when you're making these little knickknacks. And of course, some of the stuff I've already sewn up and made is now on the website, so do go and have a look in my shop on the website. I can't post everything internationally, some stuff is only available in the UK. Sorry about that, that's just how things are at the minute. That will hopefully change in the future. But do go and have a look. There's, again, links in the box below for more of that kind of thing. So on to the unboxing side of things. I needed to get some more fabric. I hadn't run out, but I've run out of fabrics I can put together. So I've only got like half of what I need, and I needed to fill some gaps. So I went online to a shop recommended by a good friend of mine, and had a browse through Minerva. Now, I'm not sponsored by them, they haven't paid me for any of this, this is what I've done with my own money, and I've used Minerva before. They have some very interesting fabrics, especially in their dead stock section, where I find the kind of stuff I tend to be after. So we got ourselves a big package, and I've not opened this yet. I do know what some of this is, but I don't know what all of it is, because I also bought one of their 1 kilogram surprise bags which is just offcuts and remnants to the weight of a kilogram for about a £5. There we are. So let's have a look what I've got in here. Once I figure out how to get in here. We've got some gump. Right. Ooh. Very interesting smell. Smells a little bit like a hippie shop. So this one is a lime green, although it looks a bit more yellow on camera. It is very lime green, a metallic jacquard. And I've got some glittery fabric and some sort of like lime green gauze, and I needed this to go with that. So that's going to be an interesting one. I think I know somebody who might like that, but we'll find out. What we've got on the label here. Oh, it doesn't tell me on the label, it just tells me who packed it. Oh, thought I took that one off the order. Maybe I didn't. A rainbow striped. This is a... Yeah, this one's a polyester crepe. Now, I think that's why when I made the order I thought I'd removed this, because I don't really like working with crepe very much. It's a lovely fabric, it looks great, but it's got a mind of its own when you use it, but it is fantastic. So we'll have to see what I do with that. I'm not 100% certain now I've got it, but I do like it. That's a really fun print. Now this is one that I'd had my eye on for a while, and I was looking forward to having some cash in to grab it. This is 100% cotton, and it's got a foil polka dot pattern on it. It's like a rainbow. It's for all different kinds of polka dots. This is going to be really good for making one of those hoodies out of. I don't know what I'm pairing this one with yet. This was a fabric that I got because I knew I really liked it, but I don't know what I'm putting with it. It should go with a lot of different fabrics I've got though, and it'll be great for the gonks because it's interesting as a fabric. I've got about a metre of each of these. Now that's the other interesting thing. When I placed the order, I only selected 1 metre of each. Most of these are dead stock, but I noticed on the shipping order that it would say shipping order. We're in the UK. Why is everything Americanized? In the order sheet, I'll say that's more accurate. Quite a few of these were down as like 1.4, 1.5 metres instead. So it's like they've given me a little bit extra. I don't know whether that's because it's dead stock or if that's because it's a first order thing. I'm not complaining. No complaints at all. Who is next? Ah, yes. Now that isn't quite what I was expecting. I've got a pink tartan wool and I didn't have something to go with it. Now I saw this one, which is sequins on, I think it's a, now then, is it Georgette or is it Gorgette? I don't know how you say it, but it's sort of like a tan colour, like well, it's not far off my skin tone actually, with these sequins that are very satiny. I thought they'd be a bit more glittery than that. So that's the first one I've got where it's not what I was expecting. I will still use it. I can still see it being useful, but that's not exactly what I was expecting from that one. So we'll see if that pairs or not. It might not. The pink polka dots. I said the pink polka dots. The multicoloured polka dots might though. We'll see. Ah, yes. This one This one's ridiculous. Even from the small sample on the website, it's extremely 90s. Yeah. How could you not? It's like a neon print, and it's all, well, highlighter colours really, like highlighter pens, and it's got little birds and fish and vases, and I love it. I absolutely love this one. I did only get a metre because I wasn't sure how well it would work for what I'm making. I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to pair with this because it's so out there. We'll have to see what inspiration strikes me on that one. So that's all the ones that I know about, that I knew I'd ordered, with the exception of the rainbow one, which I didn't think I had. This is a kilogram of mixed offcuts, and they do say in the description it's a little bit of everything. So you might get some metre lengths of fabric, you might not, you might just get some trims. For me, that's kind of perfect. You don't get to pick what colours they put in, it's a random assortment of whatever. It is looking very beige heavy, but that might be a good thing because quite often I do need a plain colour to go with a pattern. I'm not fiddling about with this knot. Chop the top off. So we have got a bit of fleecy fur, and that is not very wide, but I tell you what that would be good for. Imagine that around the hood, like a parka. That will probably work quite well for that, so that's probably going to get used. Ooh. Not a fan of how that feels. Very, very small piece of blue. This would probably be quite good for the gonks, because it's not very wide, but it's the full width of the fabric. So that is probably quite, because it's plain, it's just, I don't know, it's got that slight deflated balloon feeling about it, which I'm not a fan of. But somebody else might like that, so yeah, here we go. This one's a bit more useful. This is, I imagine, a nylon or polyester from the feel of it, sort of satin lining material. That's actually really handy, again, for the gonks or for patchwork stuff. Not a very long piece, just like end of roll, but still useful for me. That one is next to useless. It's just a bit of plain white cotton. It's barely anything. Never mind. Same again. Fusible interfacing? No idea. Useless. That's a little bit more useful. It's like a brown knit fabric. It's not very useful though. Yeah, they really weren't kidding when they said some of this was just scraps. But that's the risk you take. There were no promises made, so I'm not upset. I'm just amused at how tiny some of these pieces are. Like, I mean, that might, I say how tiny, but that's a nice long strip. So if I wanted to do like a tie, like I did on the gold and purple hoodie, something like that, it's actually not that useless. That's actually quite a useful thing. And being plain black, it'll go with quite a few different things. I do hope there's some bigger pieces in here. Oh, there we go. Yeah, now this is more the sort of thing I was hoping to get. It's a floral print. It's got a bit of a stretch to it, but that's okay. This would be good for trim, for decorative elements on whatever I make. So pieces like that aren't that bad. That's more what I was expecting in the bag. So I like that one. Don't like all the stringy bits. Oh, there's another skinny bit of crepe something. Feels like a crepe. And some hot pink, although again this could be used like a ribbon sort of a trim. There's enough of it there. Oh god, all these strings everywhere. Well, that's fun and appropriate because we are in the year of the horse now. It's just little horses. I can see me using that on something, definitely. It's funny though, because that's the sort of thing I wouldn't normally buy. Like, I would probably look at a print like that and go, nah, not interested. But in a bag like this, for some reason, it sparks my imagination a bit more. Just another scrap of, yeah. A tiny little piece of lace that's, it's not trim. This is from one of those sheets of lace that you get. Not really useful. Well, that would go with the horses. Again, you could pair that together and make a tie cord or a trim or that sort of thing. So that's alright, I guess. What's this one? Some sort of blue twill weave something. Feels cottony, quite stiff. So don't know. Another tiny scrap of blue stuff. Wow, a lot of this really is just tiny scraps. Like this is a hound's tooth where you nearly can't see the hound's tooth. Oh, finally, a bigger piece. So this one is definitely more useful. It's like a fat quarter with little blue and pink flowers on. So that one I can certainly use. I could see me using this for one of the bags that I'm going to make actually. I've got some other fabrics this would pair well with. Oh, there's strings everywhere again. Oh, another one of these very, very skinny bits. This feels like another crepe fabric, baby pink. And another one, although that's quite a nice pattern. And look, it's got a leopard on it. It's a stretchy sort of thing though, so that's going to be a bit awkward to work with. More crepe. An emerald green this time, and some organza looking stuff, very floopy. Oh, I know what I could do with that. If you, can I do it by hand? You fold it in half so you've got no raw edges, so that edge ends up caught in your seam, and then you sort of gather it and you end up with a rumply sort of a trim situation. So it's probably alright for doing something like that with, or making flowers, which I can also do with trim. In fact, thinking about it, a lot of those very thin pieces, you can sort of turn them into a strip so your raw edges are on one side and then stitch and gather them, and you can make like little roses and that sort of thing out of it. So that's probably what, yeah, another skinny strip. That's probably what a lot of this is going to be turned into, to be honest. Well, that's next to useless. I do like the pattern, but there's barely any of it. Why? More plain white cotton, just a ribbon of it. There's a lot of this sort of, it's slightly disappointing to be honest with you. There's a lot of pieces that are just like this. And there's only so much of that you can make use of. Oh, there's a slightly bigger piece of this brown. That's a more useful quantity, actually. And that will probably pair with some of the stuff I've got, so that's not too bad. It's like they put all the small stuff right at the top. Oh, I like this one. I wish there was more of it. Feels quite nice. It's like a abstract chrysanthemum type pattern, and it's like a crepe, like a matte crepe on one side and a satiny finish on the other. So that one's interesting. I will definitely use that for something. This one not so much. It's got little origami birds on it. Useless, useless, useless. Another scrap of that teddy bear fleece. Oh, finally, another slightly larger piece. This looks like a... Yeah, that's a... Oh, it's a double knit. I don't like working with double knits very much, but it is what it is. It's a nice colour. It's a lovely sort of turquoisey teal sort of a... I don't know what colour you call this exactly. Like a greeny blue colour. A little strip of gingham. You can't go wrong with a bit of gingham. A little bit of... Yeah. What's this piece? Oh, that's where two runs have been joined together. So that's probably straight in the bin, unfortunately for that one. Oh, I wish they'd given me more of this one. This one's great. That is a leopard print cotton, I think. It might be a poly cotton, but it's green leopard print. That's awesome. I love that. Some more crepe stuff. Ooh. Well, that's alright. Got some print on it. What does it say? Doesn't really tell me anything. I've got a feeling there's a tiny fragment of print just on that edge. I've got a feeling this is the end of the roll after the print. It feels quite nice. It's quite a nice fabric, and it's completely plain, so maybe I dye that. That could be fun. Another scrap of floral print, good for trim. Not a bad pattern actually, quite like that. Not a huge amount of it sadly. A useless shoelace sized piece. Yeah, another floral. It would have been nice if there was more of this one. I quite like the colour, but that's all I've got. Not a very big piece. This feels like it might be a charmeuse. Might be a viscose type thing. Not sure, but it's a great print. I do like the print, and there's enough of it width-wise that I could actually do something with it. So I quite like that one. Oh, a bigger piece. Oh, this feels very strange. What is this? Oh. It's really, really stretchy, and it's like the same colour as my skin. This is for bodysuit stuff. There's such a big piece of it, and I'm probably not going to use it. I wish that had been anything else at that size. One last piece, and we've got something glittery. You know me, I like a bit of glitter. But it's another one of those where it's like the end of the roll joined together, which is a bit of a shame. But hopefully I can undo that stitching line on there and just turn this into two pieces of trim, because there is quite a long piece there. So yeah, I think using it as a trim on a bag, or you know, the edge of one of those hoodies or something like that, that would work. So, okay. Thoughts on that? Well, I'm now covered in bits of thread and that kind of thing, which is great. For a £5, I don't mind what was in there. If it had been more than that, I think I would have been very disappointed. It was very clear on the website that there was no guarantee of colours or fabric types or even sizes of the pieces that you get in there, but some of them were such small pieces, I don't know why they put them in the bag, because they weren't even small enough to make up the weight. I think it's just, I assume, as they're cutting the orders out, this is just what's not big enough to make an order, it just gets put in the pile and then bagged up and sent out. I think I would have liked to have had a few more bits of just trim. That would have been nice. And I think a few more bigger pieces, because there weren't very many large pieces. That said, this is the kind of stuff that is useful for me with what I'm making, because a lot of the stuff I'm making is very patchworky and small. So I want little pieces to make them interesting. And some of these fabrics are not ones I would have bought. Like the green horses, I wouldn't have bought that fabric, but now that I've got it, I can think of ways that I would use it. The green leopard print, however, that's made me want to go and get some green leopard print, because I would like more of that. And especially as well, things like this one. It's a really nice design, and I think, because I want to make some shirts, and I wasn't sure what kind of fabrics and prints, so if I find this one on the website, which I probably can now I've got it in my hand, I can figure out what it is, how much it is, and then I can do my pricing for making a shirt out of it, because I think this would feel really nice as a shirt. It's very, in the hand it feels like it's a sort of fabric that'd be quite cool in the summer, and I think it'll drape quite nicely as well. So yeah, yeah, I'm going to go through all of this, and I'm going to sort out what I definitely don't want, because there are some bits that are basically just rubbish, and sort out what I do, press it all and package it away nicely. I do have some fabric now from cutting all of this lot out. This has got rid of all the weird shaped edge bits that aren't really useful for anything else, and it's left me with a nice stack of squares of fabric that are really good for doing the panels on bags, but they're too small for making clothing out of. So I think that, combined with a lot of the stuff here, is going to be really useful. I think that's going to do it for this video, and it's a bit of an odd one, but this is where I'm at, unfortunately. I'm doing my best, because that's all I can do, but it does get tricky sometimes. Thanks for joining me with whatever this is. So you get a good idea of what those mystery bags are from Minerva, and of course there's the more proper fabrics, like the rainbow stuff. I mean, this might be enough to do a shirt out of. It'd be good fabric for that. It's very floopy. It's just a shame it's the fabric I don't like working with. It just... people say velvet's horrible to work with, but I find crepes are one of the hardest fabrics to work with, because they do not behave. Doesn't matter what you do. Yeah, I had hoped this time to bring you some updates on a more involved sewing project, but I just haven't been up to it just lately. I've been doing my best to keep on top of what I can do. So, if you want to help out the channel and all that good stuff, there's a ton of links in the description box below, as always. And yeah, I think that'll do us. I can't think of anything else to tell you at the moment. I'll see you in the next one, whatever that is. Do leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you'd like to see. And we'll do that next time.